Cherry Blossom. The wallet returned Cherry Blossom. It was a busy Monday morning when Ion noticed the wallet lying near the steps of the old bookshop. People hurried past, eyes fixed on their phones, feet racing against time. For a moment, Ion wondered if someone else would pick it up. But something tugged at his heart, urging him to stop. He bent down and picked up the worn brown wallet. Inside were a few notes, some cards, and a faded photograph of a smiling family. Tucked neatly behind the cards was an ID, Mr. Rahim Khan, along with an address not far from the market. Ion sighed with relief. At least I know where it belongs, he thought. The sun was climbing higher as Ion made his way through narrow streets, past familiar shops and curious faces. When he finally reached the address, he knocked gently. An elderly man opened the door, worry etched deep into his face. Yes, the man asked softly. I think this belongs to you, Ion said, holding out the wallet. Mr. Rahim's hands trembled as he took it. He opened it quickly, his eyes filling with tears. You have no idea what this means, he whispered. This wallet has my rent money, and that photo is all I have left of my wife. Ion smiled shyly. I'm just glad I found you. Mr. Rahim tried to press some money into Ion's hand, but Ion stepped back. Please, keep it. Someone once helped me when I needed it most. This is my way of passing it on. The old man nodded, his smile warm and grateful. May kindness always find its way back to you. As Ion walked away, his heart felt lighter than it had all morning. He realized that sometimes, returning what isn't ours can give us something far more valuable, a quiet joy that lingers long after the moment has passed. Yellow heart sparkles because kindness, once returned, never truly leaves us. Sparkles blossom. Ion walked away from Mr. Rahim's house with slow, thoughtful steps. The streets seemed different now, quieter, softer, as if the city itself had paused to acknowledge a small but meaningful act. He hadn't expected anything in return, yet his heart felt fuller than it had in days. As he reached the corner, he heard hurried footsteps behind him. Beta, wait. Ion turned to see Mr. Rahim approaching, leaning slightly on his walking stick, his breath uneven but his eyes determined. I know you refused the money, Mr. Rahim said gently, and I respect that. But kindness should not walk away unnoticed. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, folded piece of paper. Please take this. Ion hesitated, then accepted it. Inside was a short note written in careful handwriting. When life feels heavy, remember that goodness still lives in simple people. Ion felt a lump in his throat. Thank you, he whispered. That evening, as Ion sat on the bus heading home, he noticed a young woman searching frantically through her bag. Her face mirrored the same panic he had seen on Mr. Rahim's earlier that day. Is something wrong? Ion asked softly. I think I lost my phone, she said, her voice shaking. It has all my work contacts, I don't know what I'll do. Ion didn't hesitate. He helped her retrace her steps, checking the seats and the floor. After a few tense minutes, he spotted the phone wedged between the cushions. He handed it to her with a smile. Her eyes lit up with relief. Thank you so much. You saved my day. Ion smiled back, remembering the note in his pocket. He realized something powerful then. Kindness doesn't end when a wallet is returned. It moves forward, quietly jumping from one heart to another, asking nothing except to be continued. That night, as he placed the note beside his bed, Ion understood that a single honest act can ripple outward, touching lives in ways we may never see, but will always feel. Crescent moon yellow heart days passed, but the memory of that morning refused to fade. Ion found himself thinking about Mr. Rahim often, wondering if the old man slept peacefully now, if the rent had been paid on time, if the framed photograph had been placed back on its shelf with care. The note Mr. Rahim had given him stayed folded in Ion's wallet, a quiet reminder resting close to his heart. One rainy afternoon, Ion returned to the same market street. The clouds hung low, and the smell of wet earth filled the air. As he walked past the old bookshop where he had found the wallet, he noticed a small crowd gathered nearby. Curious, he slowed his steps. At the center stood Mr. Rahim. He was speaking to a shopkeeper, his voice calm but firm. "This boy," he said, pointing toward Ion as he noticed him, "returned my wallet when he could have easily kept it. Today, I am here to return something too, trust." The shopkeeper nodded, visibly moved, as Mr. Rahim paid for a bundle of notebooks. "These are for the children who come here after school," he explained. "They study on the floor with borrowed pencils. I want them to know that someone believes in them." Ion felt his eyes sting. He hadn't realized how far one small decision had traveled. Later that evening, as rain tapped gently against his window, Ion reflected on how close he had been to walking past the wallet that day. How easy it would have been to say someone else will handle it. Yet choosing to stop had quietly changed more than just one afternoon, it had changed people. Weeks later, Ion received unexpected news. Mr. Rahim had started spending his evenings at the local library, reading stories to children and teaching them lessons not written in books, lessons about honesty, empathy, and courage. When asked why, he always smiled and said, "Someone once returned more than my wallet. He returned my faith in people." Standing among the children one evening, Ion realized the truth: kindness doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ask to be remembered. But it grows, softly, steadily, until it becomes a shelter others can stand under. And so, the wallet was returned, but what truly came back was something far greater: hope, shared from one heart to many. Cloud with rain open book Yellow Heart. Life slowly moved forward, but the quiet changes left by that single act of honesty continued to unfold. The market street no longer felt like just a place of passing faces to Ion. It had become a living reminder of how small choices could shape unseen stories. One evening, as the sky melted into shades of orange and purple, Ion stopped by the library where Mr. Rahim volunteered. The soft hum of children's voices filled the room. Some sat cross-legged on the floor, others leaned against shelves, all listening closely as Mr. Rahim read aloud. His voice carried warmth, steady and patient, like someone who had waited a long time to be heard. That night's story was not from a book. "It is about a wallet, Mr. Rahim began, smiling. The children leaned closer. "And a boy who chose honesty when no one was watching." Ion stood quietly near the doorway, unnoticed. As Mr. Rahim spoke, he didn't mention names, but Ion recognized every moment: the panic, the relief, the gratitude. Yet hearing it through another's voice made the story feel larger, almost timeless. After the reading, one of the children raised her hand. "Uncle," she asked, "was the boy rich?" Mr. Rahim chuckled softly. "No, child. He was rich in something far more important." Another boy asked, "Did he get a reward?" Mr. Rahim paused. "Yes," he said gently. "He learned who he wanted to be." The words stayed with Ion long after he left the library. Weeks later, Ion faced his own quiet test. At work, a small mistake was blamed on someone else. No one noticed the truth, except him. For a moment, fear tightened his chest. Speaking up might cost him comfort, maybe even approval. Then he thought of the wallet. He stepped forward and admitted the error was his. The room fell silent. His supervisor studied him carefully, then nodded. "Honesty matters," she said. "We'll fix this together." That evening, as Ion walked home under a sky dusted with stars, he realized something profound. Kindness isn't a single act locked in the past. It becomes a compass, guiding us again and again when the path feels uncertain. And somewhere, in a quiet library filled with listening children, a simple story about a returned wallet continued to teach hearts how to choose what is right, even when no one is watching. Glowing Star Yellow Heart.